Alright, so I just rewatched your video and you've got a couple of things that you have to work on. The first thing is your power step. The next thing is going to be your setup to go into your Coindrop, and then the next one is your transition to the floor. So I'm going to start off with the power step. Right now, when you're doing your power step, you're just stepping sideways. And the power step is meant to generate your momentum. So when you're doing your top rocks, it should be more of a rotational movement. So you can start to generate your momentum. So you will most likely turn to your side, and then your leg will go out and then start to rotate back. So notice what you're doing right now as far as your video was, is you would just go straight side. But you should turn out and then go to your back, right? So once you have your power step where you're starting your momentum, you're gonna work on your kick. And so your kick right now, you're going way too high. And if you go too high in a Coindrop, all of your momentum is going to go straight into the floor. And if you do that, it's probably gonna hurt your shoulder. The Coindrop is supposed to make it so you can transition straight or smoothly from up, down to the floor onto your back, really smooth. So I'm gonna do one Coindrop where it's how you should look, and then I'm gonna try to explain what you're doing and how you can improve on it. So this is what a Coindrop should look like. I'm a little bit rusty because I haven't really been breaking lately, but that's pretty much what it should be. So notice that when I kick, it's not going very high. My kick will only be about at my waist level. So my kick is something like, all right? I'll do it a couple more times just for good measure. Side blade. Now notice when I am doing my kick, my legs are staying straight out. They're keeping at this 90-degree angle. If you can, if you're more flexible, you want to be further wide. So notice, pretty straight, all right? So right now what you're doing is you're kicking up. And if you kick up, that's going to be something more like what you would do for 90s, 2000s, stuff like that. So what you're doing is more like, you're kicking up. So if you kick up, you're not going to be able to transition very well down, because you're just going to go fall straight into the ground. Your face is just going to crumple on the floor. So you don't want to kick up. You want to work on kicking sideways. So what I was trying to explain in the post is to work on a drill that I call bowls. So those bowls are just a continuous circular motion to practice that kick. So you're going to do your power step, and then you're going to reach down and across your body. So your hand will be about under where your opposite shoulder is, and simultaneously as you reach down, you will swing your power leg back, and then it'll kick something like that. So remember though that your kick is mostly a horizontal movement, so it should be like that. And you can even practice just the kick, just doing that kick. So, alright? And now once you have your kick, you can practice your bowls. And when you first start doing your bowls, you don't want to kick too hard because you won't be used to the momentum. But what you want to focus on in the bowls is to make sure that your legs stay in this 90-degree or wider. So there'll be you'll power step, you'll switch your hand down, you'll kick, and then as you kick, your other leg will lift to its side, all right? So it should be kick, this. So you can practice just that. You don't even have to do your power stuff first, just start wide. Now kick, side. Just practice that. So just get, alright? So first, the hand opposite from your power leg goes down simultaneously as you do your power kick. And then after you do your kick, your opposite hand, which should be your stab hand, will go on the ground as your opposite leg lifts to the side. So I'm going to try and do it slow. And as you get good at them, eventually you'll just be able to do it continuously and it'll look like this. Alright, so after you get those, and you can get them smooth, where you're just kind of going 1, 2, your limbs should be touching the ground almost rhythmically, and that it should be your opposite hand, stab hand, then your power leg, other leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So after you have your bowls, you're going to work on going down. So once you have your bowls, instead of just continuing to land on your feet, you're going to work on collapsing down onto your stab hand. So you go down and you'll be in the air here, and when you're in the air here, that was too high, you will collapse your stab hand into the ground, and then your kick, which is going to be rotating your legs, will pull your body through onto your back like that. So just to get comfortable with that, you can practice just what I just did, where you're right here and you're on both of your hands. You can collapse the one and just roll onto your back. Now, when I'm doing that right now, I'm adding a little bit of a twist from my legs so that I actually get some rotational momentum. Otherwise, you can just practice rolls like this. Now, the important thing is that when you're rolling, you're landing on the back of your shoulder. You're not landing on top. And that's something that I had a lot of trouble with when I first started. If you land on top, you're going to get a lot of bruising on the top of your shoulder, and it's mostly just trial and error. So if you get hurt in that, make sure you take a break. Don't do it too much because it can really start hurting. But just remember, you want to try and get to your back. If you've got some mats, exercise mats like these, they can help. So the first thing I did when I was first learning it is I was just practicing rolls. So again, you would just start kneeling and you would get your hands down, and then you wanna collapse down towards your elbow. And when you collapse to your elbow, you shouldn't be like flat to your elbow like this. Notice how my hand is flat here. You want to be leaning over your elbow so that you're not landing on this part of your elbow, but you're landing more towards here, where the front of your arm is. So instead of landing like this, you want to land more towards the front. It's not actually right here, it's about right in between. But if you land straight on the elbow, it's going to be hard for you to rotate. So you want to land towards the front and just roll to your shoulder. So after you're used to just rolling, then you can start from this position and you'll go down, and then you're gonna slightly jump. It's not really a jump, it's like more of a lift this way, that. Your lift should just be like this, almost like you're jumping toward the side, but it's not quite a jump. So you'll just go with your legs to the side, the way that you would be rotating for your coin drop, and then you roll. So like that. And if you're doing it right, you should be spinning like I just did. So after you're comfortable with that, then you just want to practice going from standing here to, you can have one hand down because you'll have this one down when you actually do your coin drop. So you have one down, and then you're going to practice jumping like to the side, just like you were doing when it was both down. And then you're going to practice setting your hand up and collapsing as you're going from right here. So it'll be like that. And then once you have that, then you can do it both of your hands up. And then once you have that, then you work your momentum in. Then you actually get your power step, you get in. So that's how you coin drop. Let me know if you have any other questions. One thing to note that a lot of people have differences on is when they coin drop, they'll either just collapse without really using their stab hand. So they'll just kind of tuck it under. And other people will actually set it down, almost get to a stab. If you can see right here, they almost get to it where it's not actually stabbing in like this, but they're about halfway. And then they use this to push themselves into the coin drop or into the windmill. And as far as power goes, you'll get a lot more power if you can actually do that, where you will almost stab and then push, because you get the pushing into your rotational momentum. Unfortunately, I'm not too good at that. I have some friends that are pretty good, but I can't do it too well. So just remember, the basic coin drop, you don't have to stab into it. You can just collapse over to your shoulder. And then remember, your goal isn't to get to windmills. Your goal is to get smoothly onto your back with a spin. So you should be able to spin right out of your coin drop like this. Right? Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.